Hello, guys. My name is Caleb Gardner, and um, this is like a little introduction to who I am and what the purpose of these videos are going to be. So these videos are going to be me going through the Bible and just like reading like a few things, just like a Bible study or like a devotional that you can listen to or watch. And so if you ever have any questions or anything, you can always ask. So we're going to be starting in Matthew 5. We're not going to be reading all of chapter 5, just some of it. Because I don't want these things to be super long, but I also don't want them to be super short, so it's in a good amount, and then we're going to talk about it. I'm going to have you guys like ponder on some questions. Ponder. It's the word I chose, yep. Anyways, Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. Let's go. Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach to them. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Now that's just the first part that we're going to be reading. This is what he begins with, and I think this is very powerful and very important that to what to expect. I underlined a few things, like I like how he talks about like who mourns and like the meek and the hunger and all that stuff. I think that's good and important because it's basically like what to expect, or like that like it's okay to mourn. It's okay to seek out knowledge and wisdom, and these are also like the things that you should be looking out for, like, or looking to be. Like you should be merciful, pure in heart, peacemakers. And I like the last one. I think is pretty interesting because verse 10, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It's basically like saying like you're gonna get persecuted. If you're getting persecuted for what you believe in and this stuff, and that it's all gonna be for the good, and that's just like reassuring, kind of, because a lot of bad things happen in a lot of people's life, and a lot of suffering happen, and when you choose to follow Christ and pick up his cross, there's going to be a lot of more things that do happen in life, and especially like centered around your faith and how you feel about things, and you just find peace, and the fact that like I may not be able to see the reward right now, but I know like it's gonna be there later. Like he emphasizes that more later on, literally the verse right after number 11, when it said, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all your reward, falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad." I think that just speaks to the fact that like when you go out and you're living like a Christ, and your faith comes up in conversation, or like they're explaining things, like that's gonna happen, and people are not everyone's gonna be pleased with the fact that you're a Christian or the morals and stuff you believe in, and that's okay. Um, and no, obviously, like, it's not going to be easy. Um, I would know that. A lot of that's happened in life. But, it's always like the stuff that, like, the wisdom it gives and, like, how we should act in the Bible, it's very hard to do. And, like, no one's ever perfect at it. And I think that's the thing that, like, a lot of people forget is, like, we're not perfect at doing this stuff. We're just trying to get better every day, just like everyone else. Just have that, mindset of always trying to be more Christ-like and, do something better. And, but also the fact that, like, you're not better than anyone. Like, you're not more perfect, or you don't have a higher level than someone else or something, just because, you have a different wisdom than they do. You have more wisdom than they do. We're all on the same playing field. We all die eventually. And so that's kind of my take from it. I think this is like that being the first thing that, like, he talks about or says is like you can tell, like, this stuff that, like, that comes after is gonna be even harder, because, like, it's tough, because it makes you think about the stuff on the inside, and, like, your heart, the deep down thoughts and feelings and motivations of oneself. And because, like, pure in heart, who really is ever, like, no one really is pure in heart. Like, everyone's, like, there's always some, I think that you can find peace in that, because then we're all the same and we're all just trying to figure things out. Okay, so then on to verse 13 to 16. It says, you are the light. Spoilers. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything, except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp, but put it under a bowl. I read that wrong. So sorry. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. They are, like, almost two separate things, but they go hand in hand. Like, how, like, if salt loses saltiness, like, you're basically just eating a tiny rock at that point. If it doesn't have any taste, you're literally just eating a rock. And who wants to eat rocks? Maybe some little kids. But yeah, it's like the flavor's gone. It's distasteful. You don't have no point in eating it. And it's like a metaphor for, like, ourselves. We are like the salt of the earth. We have purpose. We have meaning, and we have something we're meant to do on earth, And if we're not doing that, we lose our saltiness. We lose, we're not doing our purpose. There's no reason for us to, be around, I guess. It's tough. It's not something easy to think about. And then where it says you're the light of the world, once you become a Christian, or once you, like, want to tell others, you're going to want to tell others, or just live out the life, and it's going to be hard, because, everyone else is living a different life, and your life is suddenly changed, and you're suddenly living differently. They're going to question. They want to know why. And It's awkward. It's not very easy. But you gotta just let your light shine. Like out in the world when you're talking to someone. Um, like I've done it before where like I might talk about the Bible or God or something, and I stop myself because like I'm like, I don't know, like if they don't like it, if they're not about that, like, I don't want to start anything. I don't want to, offend them or make someone mad at me. And that's something I still struggle with and am working on every day. But it's the fact that I get to work on it is the beauty, because it means I'm going somewhere. Um, and so that's just something at least I'm personally taking away from it. Um, what are your guys' comment down below what you guys think of like the light, of what your light to the world can be, or what salt and light, like what that metaphor is meaning to you personally, and like something you're taking away from that. But then moving on is verse 17 to 20. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Therefore, anyone who sets aside one of the least of these commands and teaches others accordingly will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. Okay, now this is tough for someone that like doesn't know much about the Bible, or doesn't know much about the Old Testament or the laws and everything that includes. It's kind of just like, okay, don't really know what he's saying. But once you read it, basically there are all these laws and all these rules that Jews have to follow, and he's basically saying he's not going to change the rules, but he's fulfilling the reason behind the rules. And that's like a very important thing. And also there's been a lot of debates about it, about stuff like that. Me personally, I'm not very sound theologically, something like that. Not everyone can good with words, but I'm not really like well versed or knowledgeable, so I can't really say much on it. But if anyone has any questions about it, or like wants to talk about it, I'd love to talk to them about it or whatever. I'll try and learn as much as possible for whatever questions are asked, and if I don't know, I will do more research and ask someone that might. But this is a very important thing for the people he's speaking to, which is the Jews and the Gentiles that are listening to him, because during the time, there was a lot of people that are like, that he's just changing the law, or like he's not actually the Messiah because he's just making new laws or changing them. But this is him explaining it and just more proving the point of that he is the Messiah. Okay, so then going to verse 21, this will be the last. Yeah, verse 21 to 26 is the last one, and then I'll just talk about it and just ask some questions for you guys to comment down below, or if you guys have any questions, you have heard that it was said to the people long ago, you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, is answerable to the court, and anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them, then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may be thrown into prison. Truly I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. First thought is, what is raka? And it says, at least for mine, it says an Aramaic term for contempt. Which is interesting. I don't. If you understand that, comment down below. We don't really nowadays don't really understand verse 3 if you're offering a gift, but I think back then offering a gift at the altar was something very important, and you don't want it to be interrupted, and so I think that's what he's trying to get across, that it's more important when it comes to anger, and that anger is the root of murder. And even though you may not be doing the action of murder, it's the feeling in the heart that is causing the sin, even if it's just a thought. I think that's really important to think about, because we all sin, we all fall short, and you may not see someone sinning, but their thoughts could still be sinning. And I think that's something really important, because a lot of nowadays everyone just cares about how you're acting or how you present yourself, especially on social media. Everyone's just you got to do this. If you're not doing this way, you're doing it wrong, and just trying to be perfect. And the truth is, no one's perfect, because it's impossible. And also it talks about, and here it brings up the "you shall not murder," which is part of the 10 Commandments. I wish I could recite them for you. I can't. But they're 10 Commandments of the Old Testament, and they were things that the Jews had to abide by and follow to make it into heaven. And if you broke any one of the 10, you would not make it into heaven. And so those were just actions. If you did this action, you wouldn't make it into heaven. But really, he's saying it's even more in depth than just your action. It's your thought. It's your feelings. I just think that's really that's fascinating and really important to understand, that when it comes to one's faith in Christianity and in Jesus and their walk, their relationship with Him, that this stuff it's within you. It's about what you're thinking, how you're feeling about things. And I think that's really important nowadays, because I could appear to be perfectly fine. I could never tell you any of the problems I have, and you would think I'm basically perfect. But the reality is I'm not. If you couldn't tell by my reading style and how I suck at reading, I'm not the greatest. But there's a lot to learn and a lot to dive into, and I think that's really, really important. And that's why I want to do this. I want to make these videos, and I want to share everyone my thoughts on these, and hopefully people will also share their thoughts back on this, and any questions or doubts or anything they can ask, and hopefully either I or someone else out there can help them. And that's why I want to do this. I think this is what God's calling me to do right now, and hopefully I do it well. So yeah, that's the first part. I don't know how often I'll be posting or making videos. Hopefully as much as possible. But yeah, before I end, I'd like to just say, if you have any prayers or anything you want to ask, any prayer requests, you can always drop them in the comments. If you like this video, if you like the video, like it, follow for more, obviously, sorry, I just had to say that. But yeah, if you have any other ideas or a passage you want me to read, and if a lot of people want that passage read or discussed about soon, I can juggle around, because right now my thought is to go through the 4 Gospels, like I said earlier, and then just go throughout the New Testament, and then start in the Old Testament, which is a lot more, and it's a lot more dense. I personally have never actually gone through all of the Old Testament. I've done chunks here and there, but I have done through all of the New Testament, so I kind of have an idea. But yeah, hopefully you guys will get something, or come to understand something. And God is good, man. Everything does His will, His timing, and I'm just happy I can be here to be a part of it. Have a blessed day, man. Blessed day.